Shalom, friends. We are now in the Aseret Yemei Tshuva, the 10 days of repentance, the days in between Rosh HaShanah, the Jewish New Year, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. And I want to think about what it is that the Torah offers us as a way to blend the personal and the public. You see, originally Yom Kippur wasn't just a day about introspection and about mending personal flaws. The idea was that all year long, the Holy Temple in Jerusalem had an altar. And on that altar, we would bring sacrifices for our various sins and shortcomings and mistakes and errors. And so all year long, that altar would absorb all of the wrongdoing of the children of Israel, and once a year we would scrub it clean of the accumulated sins that it had picked up during the year. The cleansing was of the temple's altar, not just of the human heart. But of course, built into the idea of cleansing the temple were notions of confession of wrongdoing, which is a personal taking of responsibility, the idea of making it right to the person who you had wronged. So from the very start, the Torah fuses the personal, private ideas of reflection, confession, introspection, with the public ideas of making sure that our institutions hold to the very highest standards and are cleansed of any wrongdoing or any imperfections of their own. Boy, do we need that now, don't we? The idea that it's not enough to sit back and let our public institutions just run themselves on autopilot, because that goes seriously wrong. Or, on the contrary, the idea that it's never about the public institutions, it's just about focusing on our own spirituality and our own interior life, because that becomes a form of narcissism. As ever, balance is what's called for. An interaction between our own personal spiritual lives, both for its own sake and to contribute to the larger good of the Commonwealth, and a focus on our public institutions and the degree to which they answer to the very highest standards of morality. That's what these 10 days are about. So I invite us to enter into it with gusto and with optimism and with faith, that if we continue to improve ourselves, if we're honest and candid about the ways we fall short, and if we also continue to hold our elected officials and our public institutions and our charitable institutions and our academic institutions to the very highest standards of morality, that between the two we will be able to make a tomorrow worthy of our past and better than any days that have yet come. So during these days of repentance, I wish you a Gemar Chatima Tova, a good process of repentance and a positive outcome. And thank you for joining me for this Torah learning.